Hey guys, I'm Jason. I want to give you my real world account to my experience with peptides. I started my journey about 5, 6 months ago, and it's been unbelievable to say the least. I got into it from a friend of mine who had done some research on it and was a huge advocate of it. He's a big fitness guy, has been a bodybuilder, and this guy's knows a lot about this stuff. And what he says, I take a lot of credence to. Um, so I started on first the Reddit TrueTide, and I've tried some other ones. I'll get into that in a little bit. But what I want to do is just talk about my account for peptides from a real world perspective. I'm not a gym bro. I'm a regular 50-year-old. I turned 50 yesterday. Father of four, married, live a normal life, got a normal job. I'm a mortgage banker by trade. So I'm just a normal dude, a lot like many of you probably are. So peptides, what I liked about peptides is the natural pathway in how they go about what they do. So I'm very transparent. I've been on testosterone or TRT for the last 10 years. Feel amazing on it. I think it's great. I work out every single day. My diet's right. I try to keep myself in decent shape, and for the most part, it usually works. For the last probably 10 years, I have ranged in the 260 to 270, 275. If I hit 275, I'm getting a little pudgy. But even at that, I carry a lot of muscle mass at that weight. So I could be 275 and look pretty decent. Not great. I get a little bit thicker there than what I want to. So I'll usually diet down from that point to try to get a little bit leaned up. But even at like 270, I can actually carry visible abs. Not like a shredded six pack, but my daughter always gives me crap because she doesn't understand how kind of as burly as I am at 270, how can I possibly have abs? Again, it's not like a chiseled six pack at that point. So the peptides. So I'm good with experimenting with things. I've not been a big drug user with the whole fitness world or my workouts. Again, I've done the testosterone and I like it. I think it's great. I've done a lot of research on the testosterone. I personally feel better on it. My blood numbers are better on it. I'm a huge advocate of it. And I think any man that's over, say, 40 years old that's not exploring those options or at least testing their blood to see what your test levels are is completely missing a great opportunity to feel better, build some more muscle mass, carry some more lean muscle, and it's healthy. Lean muscle mass is one of the most healthy things that fights off diseases in your body as we age, because let's face it, things change as we get old. And that's why as people age, your bodies break down and you don't recover like you did when you were younger, and things are just different. So testosterone has helped out a lot, the TRT, and I get that prescribed right from my doctor. I pick it up at the local pharmacy down the road. Love it. It's been huge. It's super small dosage, but it does make a difference, and it makes me feel better. I'm a huge advocate. I tried one thing one time, and it was to try to lean down. It's tren. Horrible. It was not my thing. I was a little bit nervous too because I had never done anything like that other than testosterone. I had never introduced. I've never been into drugs ever in my entire life. And I kind of went out on a whim and didn't do a ton of research, but I'm like, you know what, I'm going to try it. And I tried it one time and never again. I was an angry elf. I sweated profusely. It was awful. My experience. Some people love it and are on it. And can you get jacked on it? Absolutely. Was it worth the trade-off for me? Hell no. There's no question in my mind how I felt, what was going on in my body, that it was not a good gig for me. So that's the only thing I ever did. So the peptides came along. I started researching it, started talking to some different people. And I came across several, there's tons and tons and tons of videos here on YouTube. But Dr. Trevor Bachmeyer, I have watched probably hundreds of hours of videos on him. And love his approach. He just tells it like it is. He's a medical doctor. He's got 30 plus years of experience in his approach to peptides. So let me preface this all by saying I am not a medical doctor. I am a simple dude, and I'm just trying to give you my personal account for my experience with this stuff. So let that be said. Don't take this as advice. Take it as my personal experience. So Dr. Trevor Bachmeyer, I think the dude's genius. I love watching his content. Took a lot of input from the things that he said and decided to start this stuff. So I started the retatrutide. Didn't see anything immediate other than appetite was significantly suppressed, which was good. Slowly introduced a few other ones. The other ones that I started, tesamorelin, it's a growth hormone promoter. And again, it's not an exogenous growth hormone where you're forcing a growth hormone from the outside in and just trying to increase your growth hormone levels. What it does is it sends signals to your pituitary to make more muscle, turn on the ovens, crank up the machines that have been off for a lot of years because I'm 50 years old. My growth hormone does not produce like it once did, just like my testosterone. My testosterone levels are normal for a 50-year-old guy, and at 40 at the time when I got on the testosterone, they were normal. 350-ish was kind of my number. And I think you talk to a lot of guys in my age range, and that's probably a normal number. Well, that's why 50-year-olds look like 50-year-olds. I don't want to look like a 50-year-old. I don't want to age. I want to have if I can take something that's not bad for my health and it can anti-age me and my body feels better, I look better, I maintain and grow more muscle at 50 years old, that's unheard of. So I'll get into that in just a second. So the tesamorelin is another one that I started. The BPC 157, TB 500, it's the Wolverine stack. And then I've also done the Glow stack, which includes the GHKCU. Love it. Love all three of those compounds. I think they're fan-freaking-tastic. The results I've had on those might be the most impactful of all of the ones that I've taken. The retatrutide's been awesome as well. But those three, the BPC 157, TB 500, and the GHKCU, are incredible for healing. So I had a wrist injury. I have arthritis in this wrist. And I got in a Harley accident. I don't know if you can see this, but so I got in a Harley accident last summer. My shirt's too tight to pull it up. So I hit my arm, had some trauma to this arm, and it flared my arthritis up so bad. In the past, my arthritis wouldn't flare up unless weather systems would come in. I'd have a bad wrist for 3, 4, 5 days, literally so bad I couldn't pick up like this scissors and twist my arm. I would literally drop the scissors because this would be so painful. Couldn't pick up a coffee cup in the morning. It was bad. So I had, I bought some of the BPC or the Glow stack, and I went to the gym one day. Wrist was horrible. Had been horrible since July when I got in my accident. I was getting super frustrated because I was shrinking. My body mass was down. I wasn't in great shape. Scale was going up, muscles going down. I just felt terrible, and I couldn't do anything about it. My wrist was so bad. I don't want to lift with just my right arm, obviously. And I was really suffering, and it was mentally taking a toll on me. So I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to try this BPC. I've heard amazing things about it. I'm trying it. So went to my office, had the stuff with me, and reconstituted it. I'm just learning how to do all this stuff at this point, and get my little insulin syringe out, and literally went right there. I put like 1 milligram in here, 1 milligram in there. I'm like, whatever, I don't know if this is gonna work or not, but we'll give it a shot. It was probably an hour later. I got up to get a cup of coffee in my office, and I'm like, you gotta be shitting me. It wasn't healed, it wasn't done, but it was 50% less pain. Like I could actually move it, I could pick up my coffee cup, I could move a pad of paper without having pain. I'm like, something's happening there. It was just like that. Like, okay, we'll see how this goes. I go to the gym, I don't know, 2 hours later, 3 hours later, and grabbed a pair of 60 or 80 pound dumbbells. I think it was 60-pound dumbbells, and did overhead presses with those, and it didn't hurt for the first time in months. And it was like that. I'm like, holy shit, you have got to be kidding me. It's got to be placebo. If it's placebo, I'll take it. My freaking wrist feels better, and I can work out again. So fast forward, so I'm starting to feel good. And from that day forward, things were good. Wrist was still a little bit tight. My range of motion was probably here and probably here, versus like, this one can go vertically. This one can too now. And it's just BPC. I haven't done any rehab, any physical therapy, none of that stuff. I've just been, and I literally don't even do it in my wrist anymore. I take a 0.5 milligram a day as general maintenance, and it helps for my recovery after my workouts. The shit is incredible. So my body's starting to feel good. I'm a couple weeks into this now, and I feel like I'm getting some good workouts again. I go to lift with my son one day. We had a really great back workout. Pushed super hard, too hard. I pinched something in my shoulder. So in the back of my shoulder, we were going on a trip. I had this severe pinched nerve, something going on. It was so bad, and I don't go to the doctor. I'm not that I'm a big tough guy, but I just don't hardly ever go to the doctor. Something's got to be really bad for me to go in and get an MRI. We were going on a trip. I'm like, I got to get this stuff checked out. I'm gonna see if I can get some pain meds, get something, because it was bad. It started in my shoulder, it would go up my neck and then down my shoulder, down my tricep, and it was just, it was terrible, horrible. So I did that, and I get it all checked out. The first doctor checks it all out, says, oh, your rotator cuff's bad. I'm like, no, it's not, because my range of motion was good, right? I didn't have any clicking, I didn't have any goofiness. I could move it. It just hurt in certain positions the way that this nerve was. I'm like, I don't think it's that, but you're the pro. You're the doctor. You tell me. It's like, all right, well, we can get you an MRI. We can't do that today. I'll get you some muscle relaxers, some pain meds. They didn't touch it. They gave me some like lidocaine patches to put on it. That didn't do shit. They gave me some oral, whatever, the painkiller stuff, muscle relaxers. That didn't do shit. And it hurt like crazy. Well, my wife and I went to Iowa. We live in Michigan. We went to Iowa for my daughter's volleyball thing, and it was excruciating. It was the longest freaking drive, and we got there, and I had brought this BPC just in case my wrist flared up while we were down there. I'm like, I'm just gonna bring this with me. Put it in a little cold pack, because you gotta keep the stuff cold. And I put it in there, I got there, and I'm like, you know what? I was in such pain. I'm like, I'm gonna throw this stuff on my shoulder. I told my wife that. I'm like, I'm gonna try this stuff. It worked on my wrist. This shit's hurting so bad. I'm gonna try it. So I put, I don't know, I think I did 3 milligrams the first time. Stuck right in the like the front side of my shoulder. Tiny little insulin syringe. Stuck it in the front of my shoulder, and went on with our day. It was noticeably better. It wasn't better. It wasn't healed. I'm like, okay, well, the shooting pain was less. I'm like, okay, this is better. Later that night, I kind of went to the back of my shoulder, did a little bit more there. And by the time we left, it was markedly better. I'm like, okay, this is good. And it took about a week of constant injections into the site, into the shoulder. And by the time we got home, it was considerably better, probably 75% better. And I have no problems with it now. I didn't have to have surgery. I didn't go back in. I take that back. I did do a follow-up appointment when I got home, just as kind of a protocol thing. Talked to the doctor, and he checked the range of motion, said, yeah, a different doctor. He's like, yeah, I don't think it's rotator cuff. That all seems fine. Told him I was on some peptides, that I had tried the peptides, the BPC, and that it had made a noticeable difference. The pain was pretty much gone, and it felt like it was really getting better. He's like, you know what? Stick with what you're doing. I can't advocate for it, because we can't condone that behavior or that product, because we can't sell it, we can't prescribe it. But man, if it's working for you, do it. I'm like, okay, keep going. So I leave there, move on, shoulder heals up, I start getting good lifts in again, everything's great. So that's the BPC, and so it worked so amazing on me, and I've shared this story with, I would say, dozens of people now at the gym that I go to. And there's been some incredible healing stories. Guy with a torn Achilles was supposed to have surgery on it, couldn't hardly walk on it, definitely couldn't run on the treadmill. I had told him about it sitting in the sauna one day. I'm like, it's not expensive, you can try it, it's not FDA approved. Some people have a roadblock on that, I don't. So let me just segue on this real quick. So the whole FDA approval part, it's interesting to me. So if you do, put it into ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT how many recorded deaths there are from peptides, all peptides, any peptide you want. How many recorded deaths are there in the last, per year? And it will tell you that there are no recorded deaths. However, we can't advocate for it because it's still unproven. The FDA still hasn't approved it. Then, after that, then put in how many recorded deaths from aspirin are there per year. It's 3,000 to 7,000 people per year die from aspirin. Over-the-counter shit, FDA approves it, they're fine with it, But you can get that right over the counter, and it kills 3 to 7,000 people per year. Do it with any drug. Oh, sorry, my cat's saying hi. From aspirin, you can do that with anything. I'm sure ibuprofen. I only did the aspirin just to have the quick comparison. Why is it not FDA approved? Watch Dr. Trevor Bachmeyer's video on why it's not FDA approved. Fascinating. The FDA is like 78%, I'm sorry, the Big Pharma is like 78% of the FDA's budget per year. Who do you think they're going to listen to? That's where their money comes from. It's no different than politics. You're going to follow the money. Of course they don't want this shit approved, because if I can take BPC, which they can't patent, by the way, if I can get this stuff not prescribed from a doctor, not from a pharmacy. Now they say you should get it from. I get it from called Alpha Labs. That's where I've been getting all my stuff. The efficacy seems great. I've had zero negative side effects on any of the stuff that I've used. The results have been exactly what they were said to be. Like the BPC stuff, the healing stuff has healed the way it's supposed to. The growth hormone stuff seems like it's working fantastic. There's no side effects. The ones that do say that have certain side effects, I've had one, and it was kind of an experimental one. It was actually a sex one. It's called PT-141. It looked interesting to me, so I thought I'd try it. It said you're going to potentially have some nausea, some redness of the face. I did have that. It said that I would. It was minor, just an experiment thing. It was just kind of a fun thing that I was trying. Where I was going with that. But, so do your research on this stuff. So the fact that it's not FDA approved, if you're hung up on that, you're hung up on that. And that's totally fine. It's your prerogative. Totally get that, totally respect that. I don't have a thing with that because I don't believe that the FDA is necessarily wanting to make us healthy. I think doctors in general, I think they want to mask injuries and sicknesses. To me, they want to keep us sick because the more you're sick, the more you have to see them. The more you have to see them, the more money they make, the more that they can prescribe you. And they want to have you on drug after drug after drug after drug and keep you going and mask your symptoms, not fix your freaking problem. So I've never been I'm not an anti-doctor. I love doctors and I think they do great things. But the whole FDA approval thing I think is funny to me. And there's certain people that I've talked to about these peptides. They're like, well, I'm not going to do it because it's not FDA approved. Okay, don't do it. If you're not comfortable with it, don't do it. I respect that. But if I choose to do it, and if I choose to put that in my body, and I've had fantastic results, and I'll get to that in just a second, then also don't judge me for it, right? Because that's my prerogative, just like it's your prerogative to have that guide or those guardrails up. You don't want to do it if it's not from the FDA. Totally cool. I don't have that. I'm totally good with it. I don't believe that if the FDA approves, that automatically makes it a good thing, because there's a lot of shit that's FDA approved that's really, really bad for you. Quick side note. My wife and I are in the hospital the other night. She's having a procedure done. She's in a shared room doing a blood thing. And in her shared room, there's an older couple in there. The lady's having some blood issues, and she's having a transfusion and some different stuff. And we can hear everything that they're talking about. So we're hearing all of her symptoms and problems and feel terrible for the lady. And they get on the phone with her pharmacy to review her meds that she's on. I swear to you, she was on, if it wasn't 15, I'd be shocked. They were going on and on. Are you taking this? And it's these statins and metformins and all. And you research this stuff, and it's shit. And this lady's body was shutting down. Her blood pressure, she was older. She was probably pushing 80. Her blood pressure, we could see her numbers. We could hear everything they were talking about. Her blood pressure was like 70/50. She's pissing blood, shitting blood, has clots and has this and has all these UTIs and all this shit going on. This lady is absolutely a mess. And she is on so much shit every single day. The pharmacy rep said, did you take your such and such? Yes. When's the last time you took it? This morning. Did you take this? Yes, this morning. And she kept going on. My wife and I looked at each other like, are you freaking kidding me? How much shit is this lady on? No wonder she's dying. It was horrible. So that's, to me, that's just an absolute malpractice. They keep throwing drugs at people and masking symptoms, and here, take this, and that's going to change this, and your cholesterol's high, which, by the way, I'm not an expert on this, but I feel like the cholesterol number that they have is bullshit, because I think there's some proven data out there that a higher level of cholesterol than what they prescribe is actually healthy. blood pressure, you name it. All of her metrics were bad. So I'm like, this is a really good point of why, I'll call it big pharma doctors. They're just throwing shit at you. Okay, it's FDA approved. It's jack shit. It's killing you. It's making you unhealthy. It's not fixing your freaking problem. It's masking the symptom. And that's exactly what Dr. Trevor Bachmeyer says. I feel like I sound just like him when I say that, because it's true. Like, they're not trying to fix you. They're trying to mask your symptoms. So you got high cholesterol, they're going to put you on some freaking statins that's going to give you brain fog, and it's going to make you an absolute idiot. It's hard on 6 other things in your body, but your cholesterol number is going to be better, or your blood pressure, whatever the shit is that they're trying to fix. Another quick side story. My wife was going through some stuff, and they gave her some meds, and I was talking to her, and she kept repeating herself, and she's not that way. She is sharp as a tack. And I'm like, hon, you just told me that story 2 separate times in the last 5 minutes. What is going on? What are you taking? She's like, oh, it's these, whatever, I don't know if it's blood pressure meds or whatever it was. It was bad. Sorry, here comes the cat again. So I'm like, well, let me see what that is. It was shit. I'm like, you can't be taking that. Like, you got to figure out something else. This is bad. It's obviously not doing well for you. You got brain fog. You've repeated yourself 16 times. Not 16, that's excessive, but she kept repeating herself. She felt like she was in a funk. She couldn't think clearly. I'm like, no, we got to come up with a better method. So I won't get into her story, but she's had some peptide success as well. I won't get into the details of that because that's her personal information. I'm not going to go there. So again, real quick, back to the testimonials of the people from the gym. So there's an Achilles thing, the guy with the Achilles. He came up to me 2 or 3 days after he had started them, and he had a huge grin on his face. He's like, dude, I just ran 3 miles on the treadmill for the first time. It feels like 80% better. It's not completely gone, but holy shit, this stuff is, I'm like, dude, I know, I don't get it. I don't know, it's like voodoo. I don't understand it, but it is absolutely incredible. Glad to hear it. Another guy with a shoulder thing, been dealing with, a younger guy, been dealing with it for a long time. Oh, sorry about this darn cat. And same thing. Was gonna have surgery on it, couldn't use it, couldn't even wash his hair in the morning because he couldn't lift his arm up because his shoulder hurt so bad. Sent me a text 3 days after he started. It's like, dude, unbelievable. I didn't even realize it, but I was washing my hair this morning and I was using both arms and it didn't hurt. Unbelievable. My nephew got hit by a car. He and his family were walking, distracted driver, ran off the road, hit him, jacked up in a couple of areas. Thank God they were okay. Had a shoulder issue, pretty bad shoulder issue. It was debilitating, and he couldn't lift anymore. He's a workout kid. He's a pretty big dude and likes to work out and lift, and couldn't do it because his body's all jacked up. Sharing the peptide stories with him, and tried it 3 days later, 2 or 3 days after. Sent him a text, said, hey, how's it going? And he's like, dude, this shit is incredible. I don't understand it. I haven't felt so good in a long time. And it's incredible. And there's a dozen other stories that I could share with you of people in my sphere, in my network, in my family, friends, gym people that have all had these same stories. The shit flat out works. Is it FDA approved? No. Does it kill people? No. Is there any recorded hospitalizations? No. Is it a natural pathway? Yes. Is it chains of amino acids that are just signaling your body to do what it stops doing as you age and as you have injuries? Does it promote healing? Yes. Again, I'm not a doctor. Is there going to be a consequence for this 20 years down the road? We don't know, because there is the longevity piece is what's missing. But if you know what they are chains of amino acids, which your body has. Your body is built on chains of amino acids. It's how it functions. And as we age and as things are unhealthy, those chains get broken, and we're trying to reconnect those things with these peptides. It's incredible. So I'll go back real quick and I'll kind of wrap this up. So I'm on the Retatrutide, amazing. I'm down 40 pounds. Muscle mass has been untouched. I think I've lost 2 pounds of overall lean mass. So I think I started at 129 pounds of lean muscle on my body. I had high 40s pounds of body fat, which was too high for me. That was when my shoulders were jacked up and I really had to start grinding. I've been doing consistent body scans. I've been doing consistent blood work. All have improved dramatically. Body fat is half of what it was. So I was 274 the day that I started. I was at 19.6% body fat. I don't remember the exact, I think I had, now whatever, I won't even put the number out because I don't remember exactly what it was. But anyway, I've lost 40 pounds of total weight. Weight loss was not my goal. I don't really give a shit what the scale says. I care what I look like in the mirror and how I feel. And then I didn't lose a bunch of muscle, because in the past, if I was 275 and I tried to lean down, I would get leaner, and I would get more cut, but I would also lose a lot of muscle along the way, because part of leaning down when you're just doing it on a diet is cardio and diet. Sorry about this darn cat. Cardio and diet. And when you're in a caloric deficit, you're going to lose muscle. And I hated that because I've worked my whole life to have a decent sized frame. I like to carry a little bit of muscle mass. Always have. I've always liked to be a little bit bigger dude. And so I've always struggled with dieting down and losing all that muscle that I've worked so hard to build on over the years. So that was one of the things that retatrutide is said to do, is it hits the glucagon receptor and it protects the muscle. It sends a signal to leave the muscle alone, and it attacks your belly fat and your visceral fat. And it's holy cow, you guys, I'm so sorry about this flipping cat. Jeez, oh Pete. And she's pregnant, so I gotta be gentle with her. It's been incredible. I just did my last, so I had a goal. I turned 50 yesterday, and I wanted to hit 10% body fat. I don't know if I've ever been 10%. I think on average, I probably average somewhere around 15% as a whole, up and down from there. You know, if I get to 20%, I'm getting a little bit chubby, and maybe a little bit less than that if I'm really lean, but I don't know that I've been 10%. So waist size is down all of 3 inches, body weight's down 40, but my lean muscle has been untouched. I've lost 2 pounds of lean muscle out of the 40. 38 pounds of all of my losses were pure fat. My blood work looks perfect. I had high creatinine levels, which indicates a fatty liver, which is visceral fat. Gone. My creatinine levels are perfect. They're right where they're supposed to be. I was told by my doctor that you can't reverse visceral fat. That liver fat, the fatty liver, was not reversible. You could just simply change your diet, not drink anymore, and you could stop it from getting worse, but you can't make it go away. It's gone. My creatinine levels are gone. I do not have any more visceral fat around my liver, and things are fantastic. So all of the stuff that I've done has been exactly what they were said to do. I've had 0 negative side effects of any kind on any of it, other than that PT-141. That was just kind of an experimental one. I knew that one was going to have a few things, but it wasn't a big thing. It was like 10 minutes worth of, I felt a little bit eh. So my point in this half-hour now long video is to give you a real world account from someone like you. If you're just a Joe Blow, you're not you don't do gym stuff for a living, you're just a middle-aged person. I guess your age doesn't matter. I got people at almost 80 years old at the gym. Another guy today, shoulder issue, arthritis in it, can't do shit with it. He's dealt with it for a long time, just kind of thought it is what it is. He's almost 80 years old. He might be 80, I forget what it is, but he's around 80. Great shape. I got him some BPC 157 and TB 500 stack like a week ago, 10 milligrams. He used it for 1 week, and talked to him today in the locker room. He's out of it because that 10 milligrams goes pretty quick. And he said it's at least 50% better. He's got great range of motion. He can use it, and he's just blown away by it. 80 years old. It's life-changing shit. So do your research on it. If you're freaked out by the FDA stuff, cool. It's not for you. It's not your gig. If you're focused on getting your body right, getting your lean body mass down. So I'll back up real quick. So my goal was 10% by the time I hit 50, which was yesterday. I was well on my way. I thought I was going to hit, I got into the 10s. I was 10.6 yesterday when I did my last lean body mass test. And so I'm close. I'm in the 10s, which is good, and I'm not done yet. I got a little bit to go to get to where I want to be. But I'm super, super thrilled with the recomposition of my body, how things are looking. My abs are looking great. I can see my obliques now. My waist size is down. My muscle mass has stayed the same. I'm smaller, like my arms measure smaller. My shoulders are smaller. I'm way leaner. I look way better than what I did at 276. Though my overall mass went down, that's okay, because I was getting a little bit puffy looking and I didn't feel great at that point. So yeah, I did shrink. My strength went down for sure, even though I retained all my body mass or my muscle mass. My strength definitely went down, which it always does with body weight. I don't care. I'm 50 years old. I don't need to bench press 500 pounds anymore. I've been there, done that. Never did 5, but 485 was my max. I don't need to do that. I'm going to tear a pec and hurt myself if I try to do that at 50 years old. No sense in that. Rarely do I go over 300 pounds. If I do 300 pounds, that's a pretty heavy day for me, and it doesn't even feel good. I don't get as good of a pump. I don't get as good of a burn. It's not even my thing. So I'm kind of transitioning to a different phase of how I work out. But again, the whole goal of this, the whole point of this video is to just share my experience with this stuff. I think it's unbelievable. I have absolutely zero regrets, and I'm super excited for the people around me that are jumping on board, and I'm excited to see the lifestyle changes and the body recomposition and the amazing things that it's done for me. I hope that it does for them as well. So, and I hope it does for you too. Hopefully this video is a little bit of encouragement and you enjoyed it. And that's all I got. Hope you have a good day. Thanks.